The founding of the United States and the Constitution, 1776 to 1787. In an age of kings and empire, a new idea began to stir across the Atlantic. The notion that a people might govern themselves, that liberty could be the birthright of all, rather than the privilege of a few. The 13 colonies of British America, restless and defiant, would soon challenge not only the rule of a distant monarch, but the very structure of political power itself. From rebellion to revolution, from independence to the creation of a nation, the story of the United States between 1776 and 1787 is one of vision, conflict, compromise, and enduring hope. A moment when the ideals of freedom were tested and transformed into the foundations of a republic. By the mid-18th century, Britain's American colonies had flourished in trade, population, and culture. Yet prosperity bred a growing sense of independence. The colonies were bound by loyalty to the crown, but their daily lives were largely self-governed through local assemblies. When the British Parliament began imposing taxes and restrictions, the Sugar Act of 1764, the Stamp Act of 1765, and the Townshend Acts that followed, resentment deepened. The colonists argued they were being taxed without representation, a principle they saw as tyranny. Protests spread from Boston to Charleston. Pamphlets declared liberty as a natural right. And voices like Samuel Adams, Patrick Henry, and Thomas Paine demanded defiance. The conflict escalated from words to resistance. In 1770, British soldiers opened fire on protesters in the Boston Massacre. 3 years later, patriots disguised as Mohawk Indians dumped British tea into Boston Harbor, sparking outrage across the empire. In response, Parliament enacted the Coercive Acts, closing the harbor and tightening British control. But repression only united the colonies further. In 1774, delegates from 12 colonies gathered in Philadelphia for the First Continental Congress, the first major step toward collective American identity. By April 1775, gunfire at Lexington and Concord ignited open war between Britain and its colonies. Farmers, shopkeepers, and tradesmen took up arms as the Continental Army formed under George Washington's command. As battles raged from Bunker Hill to Quebec, the dream of reconciliation faded. In the summer of 1776, the Second Continental Congress faced a momentous choice: submission or independence. On July 4, 1776, the Declaration of Independence, authored primarily by Thomas Jefferson, was adopted